Yo, what's up, guys? So we're gonna be reacting to a video talking about Call of Duty's downfall and what killed Call of Duty. And most likely, I'm pretty sure that a lot of y'all can agree on a lot of this stuff. So we're gonna get into it.
Weren't paying attention has become a complete joke. I personally ditched the game a while ago, but I think diehard fans have been hanging on the past few years, with Warzone 2.0 still able to hit 500,000 players back in 2022. But what has happened since Black Ops 6 came out 1 year ago is truly unique. There's been a complete collapse of the player base from within. Huge COD streamers and content creators are just giving.
See, the one thing about Call of Duty, bro, is that when they started trying to copy Fortnite and copy all these other games, bro, they literally started taking a downfall, especially when they started breaking in these weird animations and these weird finishers with operators, cartoons, and stuff like that. And, bro, don't they have a finisher to where you can literally pull up a unicorn's tail and have them shit rainbows on you? Like, bro. That's not Call of Duty. That's literally you're taking every ounce of Call of Duty out the game, and a lot of people doesn't like the fact that they're doing that. But anyway,
Up and quitting the game in droves right now. I noticed Jev just completely quit playing the game. The player count has
hello, I
driven
like
off of a
Jeff.
cliff, with concurrent player numbers on Steam sitting at around 60,000 since January. But it gets
Yep.
worse. In May, Activision got busted for inserting ads into paid versions of Call of Duty. They backpedaled and call it a UI glitch. Right. Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, so they started putting advertisements for bundles right when you were trying to create a class, and they took it out instantly and called it a UI glitch. Nah, bro, they're trying to force it down our throats so that we have no choice but to want to buy this stuff. Nah, bro, no.
And Seth Rogen skins show they've abandoned any pretense of this being a military game and have so little respect for us that they think we will leap at whatever retarded nostalgia bait they talk.
All right, one more time. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Beavis and Butthead, I really thought that show was annoying. It was before the time I was born, but when it came into the game, I've heard about it so many times. I heard of Beavis and Butthead, but then I saw it come into the game, so it started popping up on my TikTok and stuff like that when I'm scrolling, and I'll see short clips of Beavis and Butthead. To me, honestly, in my opinion, that show is more annoying than any show because they are constantly making funny noises. Like, bro, I mean, I think it's annoying. To me, it is.
In our piggy trough. Black Ops 7's announcement last month, instead of generating hype, had the fan base letting out a heavy sigh with a historic amount of downvotes on the trailer. One user commented, "No matter what, there will be a bunch of Ninja Turtles and Teletubbies running around the maps. Might as well include them in the trailer next time." Also, them thinking they can buy you off with some cheap nostalgia bait always pisses me off, completely ignoring the fact this game is nothing like it was in 2005. Isn't it funny how on the cover art of the game, they're still leaning into this badass thing like, ooh, look, this new COD is going to be so gritty and intense. Boot the game up and there's 20
Oh my
running around.
God.
So how do we get here?
Freaking
boys?
Barney,
How do
bro.
we go from Call of Duty being the most successful military shooter of all time to Ninja Turtles running around with a pizza launcher as Activision desperately tries to squeak out one more dollar from you? Well, I think it's four major things that killed Call of Duty, and I want to explain each one in detail. Number one, cosmetics in Call of Duty used to be an indicator of player skill. Now, any cosmetic can simply be purchased with a credit card, and it has no meaning anymore. So this might blow some minds, but did you know in World at War in 2000...
Is it just me, or like all the prestige badges or the prestige emblems that you'll get every time you prestige were so elite back then? But now it's the ones that came out in Black Ops 6. I think those emblems were not that good.
2008, literally the only thing that showed off what a badass you were was this tiny little number right here and this tiny little icon right here, but people worked their ass off for these. The next year, MW2
for real.
added calling cards, which would show up in the kill cam whenever a player killed you.
Calling
The
cards
best
are so
calling cards
OG.
were only available for certain achievements, 100 headshots, 1,000 bomb defusals, things like that.
Dude, I love them
Years,
calling
camos
cards.
started to be unlocked for incredible player feats. I remember diamond camo was the hardest to get in Black Ops 2. But if you ever saw the kill cam of somebody kill you with diamond camo, you thought, okay, I'm not so mad because that dude was a badass. So you see, back in the day, cosmetics in the game were limited, and what few cosmetics the game had were
Yeah, so most of the time with the community now, if you have like the best camo or you have a prestige camo, whatever, if you have the master camo now, is somebody is not going to think, oh yeah, he's good at the game or he's badass for having this camo. Now, literally, they are going to say the most shit out of their mouth, like, oh, you don't touch grass, or you don't do this, or you don't go to work, or you spend too much time on the game, or you're cheating, you used the unlock tool. Most of the time, it's just bullshit like that. And back then, I remember if someone actually did get the master camo, then you were good at the game, or you get added, you want to play with that person. But now, you're automatically a cheater.
tied to player skill. You couldn't get the diamond camo unless you were a Giga Chad in Black Ops 2. In MW2, there was a calling card you could only get if you had called a nuke, aka you had gotten a 25 kill streak. You were showing off your skill and what a badass you were. How has this changed today? In modern Call of Duty, the best, flashiest, and most conspicuous
Advanced
items
Warfare
today are no
and
longer
Infinite
tied
Warfare
to
was
player
so
skill.
ass.
While yes, they technically still have a calling card for getting multiple nukes, the flashiest items are character skins, and these can all be purchased with a credit card. Nobody cares about your calling
all
card
about
when
money.
you're getting your ass beat by Nicki Minaj. Anybody with mom's credit card can become a Ninja Turtle or the guy from Saw or Nicki Minaj. In a word, cosmetics no longer have meaning or significance anymore.
Nope.
Now, why would Activision do this? Because at the end of the day, they don't care about gameplay. They just want to make as much money as possible. Most players are bad. Most players have no skill. But if I can pay $50 for a Rambo skin, maybe that's going to make me feel better that I'm bad at the game. I really miss this aspect of Call of Duty where your achievement in the game was attached to some kind of trophy that you could show off. But those days are long gone. Before my next point, I want to tell you guys about a free game that, unlike Call of Duty, never went woke, and that is the video. Number 2, Call of Duty has completely killed its own atmosphere and become a joke. Do you ever look around at Gaypex, Fortnite, Call of Duty,
Gaypex.
7 Gays to Die, etc., and just think every game has become the same game? When I was growing up, you actually got different experiences from playing different games. Halo 3, Bad Company, and COD 4, despite all being first-person shooters.
Yeah, so the thing with Call of Duty, it's like every year will come around and the new Call of Duty will come out. And literally what he's saying is most of the time when the new Call of Duty come out, it will feel like a whole brand new experience. But now, every year Call of Duty comes out, it's the same shit, over and over. They want all your money, they try to get all your money, and it's the same game over and over. And dude, I'm not very enthused with Black Ops 7 coming out, dude. I really don't care. I haven't played Call of Duty in about a month. And before that, I didn't play for like 2 or 3 months. Bro, I really don't like Call of Duty anymore, or what it's become.
Had completely different controls and were very different games. Call of Duty, despite being bombastic at times, was always known for its gritty, realistic military tone. The pinnacle of this was probably achieved in World at War. The ability to blow off limbs and heads and feet in World at War was truly unparalleled. Maybe the GameStop employee was looking the other way while your mom bought it for you in 2008. The game opens with a Japanese guard torturing an American POW by putting out a lit cigar in his face. You had soldiers screaming and crying out to God as they were burned alive with flamethrowers. At one point in the game, you wake up in a pile of corpses with the birds feasting on your flesh. Even the color grading of the game has much more muted, subdued tones compared to anything we would see today. World at War is a masterpiece. All right, so you finished the single-player campaign. Now imagine in 2008, you boot up...
Yeah, what was up with that? See, I didn't start at World at War, but the fact is, you literally can shoot people's legs and arms off. But in the Call of Duty now, you're not able to get that graphic with these new games. But like back then, I did play World at War. I went back for the zombies and stuff like that. And dude, zombies on World at War, man, that was a masterpiece.
The multiplayer for World at War, and it looks like this.
This does not look like Call of Duty at all.
Call of Duty might actually be collapsing as a brand right now is that the level of cartoony bullshit we are seeing in the game right now is something we've never seen before in the 23 years of this game's history. COD desperately needs to remember where it came from. It needs to get back to the basics. World at War had no cosmetics. The way your character looked would just change depending on your class, sniper, machine gunner, etc. Perks like stopping power and Juggernaut required some level of strategy. There were only 3 kills.
So, with the thing with Call of Duty, bro, why are they pushing marijuana so hard at the game? I don't have a problem with it. I don't do it really myself, but they are pushing it so hard at Call of Duty. And I figure maybe it's because a big fan base of the small percentage of the casuals or stoners and hippies or whatever. I guess they're trying to target that crowd of gamers. I don't know, bro. I think they're just pushing it a little too hard.
Streaks, radio, mortar barrage, and of course dogs. Just the tone of the voice lines in the old CODs was totally different. Gary Oldman out here making me believe I'm in an actual war right now.
There! On the ledge! Shoot him!
I want to give credit to the Modern Warfare games, of course, as well. Modern Combat, terrorists, nukes, the Middle East, badass Spetsnaz soldiers, Russian military. I actually think MW2 is my favorite campaign in the entire series. There were times, of course, where the campaign was over the top.
Yeah, I don't play campaign anymore.
And snowmobiles with a one-handed SMG. But there wasn't any goofy clown-ass bullshit in Modern Warfare. The games were badass. Fixing Call of Duty would...
Man, this part was so twisted when you walk into the mall.
Trash that Activision has added to the game, and they make too much money off of this garbage. So guys, let's just accept that it's never going to happen. We simply have to find other games to play. I recommend Squad, Arma Reforger, Hell Let Loose, Insurgency Sandstorm, Ready or Not.
See, I want to try that game, Ready or Not.
Call of Duty needs to fix its skill-based damage modifiers and other SBMM trash that it added to.
Dude, don't get me started on skill-based matchmaking, bro. I swear. And a lot of people say that skill-based damage don't exist, but I definitely think it exists, bro. You're doing good for a certain amount of games, and then all of a sudden they nerf you. I don't want to have to get into that conspiracy when I really believe it's a real thing. But with skill-based matchmaking, if they don't take it out the game, bro, it's just gonna get worse and worse. Skill-based matchmaking was the biggest mistake that any game or any corporation decided, yeah, it's the best idea to protect bad players. I can understand if you're protecting disabled or somebody that just cannot play the game like a normal person, but you're literally making it to where, like, it's something I can't explain myself. It's like when I remember when I first started, skill-based matchmaking might have existed in the early Call of Duties, but it was so light to where you're still getting stumped if you're new at the game. If you're new at the game, you're getting stumped. So you had no choice but to get better at the game. If you didn't get better at the game, you were not going to be able to get more kills and have better KD. But now, for being exactly a good player or a better player and being in that small percentage, you are punished for playing the game. And that's why most people leave the game. That's why I left the game, is because I'm tired of being punished for actually being somewhat decent at the game. I'm not no casual garbage junk at the game. It's just skill-based matchmaking made me leave the game because it's always been to the point where I feel punished for playing it and not having an actual good time playing the game.
The game since 2019. Do you ever notice that early on in the evening, COD puts you in easier lobbies, and as the night goes on, the game gets harder? That is 100%
every time
part of their algorithm.
Every time.
Here's another interesting patent that Activision filed for the game in 2017. Reading directly from the patent, the system may include a microtransaction arrange matches to influence game-related purchases.
I didn't know that.
For instance, the system may match a more expert/marquee player with a junior player to encourage the junior player to make game-related purchases of items possessed used by the marquee player. So first off, we know that Activision is filing some sketchy patents that have to do with matching certain players with other players to make them buy more stuff. Another thing that players discovered in the code recently is a modifier that adjusts how much damage bots do according to that player's kill-to-death ratio. You can watch videos of it
Damn.
happening. So if you have a
They're
0
definitely adding to
ratio,
real
you
players
will
too,
do more
not
damage
just
to
bots.
If you have a 2.0 kill-to-death ratio, you'll do less damage to bots. So fans
Oh,
immediately
yeah, it's
wanted to
definitely
know,
to
is
real
this
people,
happening with
too.
player damage. One YouTuber tried
Hell
to do
yeah.
this in a private match and wasn't able to produce any difference based on your KD. But then you find a ton of clips online of bogus treatment that begin to make you really ask what's going on.
Oh my god. I hope that dude quit that day. I hope he quit playing.
So we know that connecting to the server is involved every time there's a hit marker. Basically, your console has to connect to the COD servers and then relay back before it can confirm that there's a hit. But the amount of sketchy junk going on lately should raise red flags for all of us. You'll see players unloading 2 clips into somebody before they die. You'll see blood splatters and obvious hits with no hit marker. So all of this horrible netcode and manipulation of player lobbies and the amount of damage people are doing is just sketchy, and it's killing confidence that people used to have in this game that it was going to...
See, the netcode with Call of Duty is the worst side of the worst. Don't they run like a 20 tit rate for part of their netcoding? I mean, bro, if you really think about it, they're at the very bottom when they have millions and billions of dollars to upgrade the servers, and they would not be down for a horrible long time to where they're losing tons of amounts of money. They have money to cover for this, but they don't want to, and that's where greed comes in. So
give them a fair experience. So what are we asking for here? I honestly think COD needs to revert back to like its 2017 era netcode. I remember getting
Might
mad
as
that
well.
somebody was dropping a Huey on me in the original Black Ops, but there was never me just completely hitting somebody and it not registering shots. So in order to fix this, Call of Duty just needs to take out all of its current garbage netcode and rewrite it completely, I think. This is the kind of junk that has made me never want to pick up Warzone again, and I hope they sort it out soon. All right, this is the last one. Number 4. As I've talked about in other videos, Call of Duty needs to remove all the woke girl boss garbage from these games. So I know the single player campaign is such a minor thing to Activision these days because people barely play it. But when you start the Black Ops 6 campaign and it has all these Latina girl bosses, all these gay characters, and all this trans garbage, it just doesn't fit with the original tone of the game at all. You can get mad about it, but Call of Duty campaigns have...
see, he might be being harsh, but it's really not. He's telling the truth. And personally, I don't have anything against anybody. What you do in your life is that's you. If you want to do that, that's on you. But when they bringing this woke shit into games, nobody don't want to play this shit, bro. I mean, what Call of Duty was designed for, or what they started from the roots, was being masculine, gritty, war. Not bringing these weird gay women or gay girls into the game, and they have these weird haircuts and everything else, and making them the main character when the Call of Duty didn't come from that. So he's not really being harsh about it, but he's telling the truth.
always primarily featured men doing military stuff. There are virtually 0 women in elite combat roles around the globe. It's like less than 1%. Boot up Call of Duty and you would think 50% of military PMCs are women. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I'm not going to rant about the woke stuff in Call of Duty. You can see that stuff in my other videos, but I'm going to get out of here. So I think the only way they're going to fix COD is go back like 10 years, rewind the clock, and start over.
I mean, they need to.
3 kill streaks, give us a couple perks, give us very limited and very realistic appearances for the different characters, appearances for the guns, make the guns look correct. Don't just invent a bunch of retarded guns and put them in the game. But guys, let's be honest. Call of Duty isn't going to do any of that. They're never going to fix the game, and it's probably going to be like this until it dies. So our only hope right now is...
So the thing with Call of Duty, long as their pockets are not impacted dramatically to where they have no choice to change, then they're never going to change. If they're continuing to make enough money to fill their pockets and fill their ego or fill their pride, or just if they keep having the money filling their pockets to where they're not losing it, then nothing's going to change, bro. It's all up to us Call of Duty fans, and it's all up to anybody that buys these bundles and buys the skins and buys all these microtransactions. Nothing's going to change with Call of Duty, bro. But anyway, I'm out of here.